I have two different roles in research and innovation. I'm both a researcher and a funder of research. So in my research role, I'm a Professor of Immunology at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and I'm investigating factors that impact tuberculosis vaccine efficacy. And even though we have the BCG vaccine, which can be a very effective vaccine against TB, a quarter of the world's population are still infected and 2 million people die every year of TB. And the problem is that BCG is highly protective in some populations, but in other populations, mainly in low and middle income countries, BCG efficacy is low. And my worry at the moment is that some of these factors which impair BCG vaccine efficacy could also impact COVID-19 vaccine efficacy. So I think it's more important than ever that we understand these factors that are causing variation in vaccine efficacy in low-income countries. What excites me most about my work as both a researcher and a funder is that we're addressing some of the most pressing global challenges facing us today. And we're doing that by not looking in a single-minded way in one particular scientific discipline, but by looking across many different perspectives to try and understand these complex problems and how they interact with each other. And to do this fully, we also need to listen to the voices of the people who are living and working in low and middle income countries, in the communities which are actually impacted by these pressing problems. And only through working in partnership with agencies on the ground, with universities on the ground, with researchers, with non-government organisations, with businesses, can we really tackle these intertwined problems which cause these complex challenges. So through my own research, where I'm interested in understanding what's impacting vaccine efficacy, I'm an immunologist. So of course I am going to look at the immune system. I'm going to look to see if those vaccines are inducing antibodies. I'm going to look to see how long those antibodies last for. But also I know that to induce a strong response to my vaccine, it's not just about the immune system. It's about nutrition, it's about the quality of housing, it's about the stress that somebody is feeling in their life and how that stress might even be impairing their immune response. And so we have to look in lots of different ways to tackle these problems if we're going to find solutions to the challenges. The Sustainable Development Goals, we need research. We need research and we need innovation. So we have left ourselves with some very difficult challenges to try to address, and we need to understand what are the most effective tools that we have. And so we need to test those tools so that we can focus on the things which are going to drive development most effectively, so we can have the fastest and most efficient and most impactful way of driving change. But there's more to it than that. There's an innovation side of it, because we might not yet have the solutions. There might be ways of driving development out there that we haven't yet discovered, that we're not yet using. And it might be that you and I sitting in the UK are not the best placed people to understand what's needed and to think of that innovation. So I think over the last 5 to 10 years, there's been a really big change in that we are engaging much more closely with people living in low and middle income countries who are being affected, and listening and giving them a voice to create and drive research and drive innovation. And I think not only will that have an impact, but it's also really exciting, and it will have an impact locally and it will have an impact globally as well.